Welcome everyone to the Mega Man Legends Hard Mode Boss Battles video. I hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas. I certainly enjoyed it, but let's get into this. Now, this is going to be a boss battles video. I'm showing only the boss battles. First up is the Hanmaru Doll, the only boss name I can actually remember. Now, since there's nothing interesting about this, I just circle strafe him a bunch. I want to explain what's going on here, because I originally promised a speedrun of hard mode, but that did not go so well. I don't have a lot of speedrunning experience with Mega Man Legends, and all of the routes that you find online are only for normal mode, because as it turns out, hard mode really hates speedrunners. Like, you can tell that this boss has a lot more health than he did in normal mode. That's going to be constant for all bosses, and I believe they move faster too, but I'm not really sure about that. There are only a few real changes to boss patterns that I can actually prove with video. Like, you would have to do a side-by-side comparison if you wanted to compare the speed of these guys. So anyways, you're gonna see in this battle that I actually ran out of splash mines. That's a testament to how long the boss battles can get, because they have so much health and so much defense. On the bright side, this lets them get out some of their more devastating attacks. Like, you probably never saw the Feldinot here rush from one corner of the town to the next, and this is also where most of the damage to the buildings is going to come in. But anyways, the boss strategy doesn't really change too much. You just have to react a little more, and you have to potentially bring in the energy canteen so you can recover your health better, and potentially purchase the armor too. I still never purchased any armor on this playthrough, which is probably foolish because there are attacks in this game that can really get devastating. Now, the extended boss health becomes a problem in the City Hall mission because, as you're going to see very shortly, I did not defend the police station from getting damaged, which means that the side quest that you can get 200,000 zenny out of, the bank robbery mission, also note the sound bug. Fun, right? So because the police station was damaged, I tried to get it repaired in time for the bank robbery mission, but it didn't happen. So there was no way to actually play that mission without like waiting and wasting a bunch of time, and overall the run just took like 2 hours to do. So yeah, I figured they're not gonna want to watch me waste time. Like, everything in between boss battles they've already seen, basically, because, you know, going from one location to the next isn't much different on hard mode, and it's not that much different in a speedrun. So yeah, it's just the boss battles and a couple of other things that change significantly on hard mode, so you'll be seeing all of that. Anyhow, there's not much to say about Bon other than if you get him in front of a coconut tree or a streetlight, then he has to waste time destroying it. And if he's beneath you and you're standing on that ledge and he's beneath you on the ramp, then you can just drop the mines on him directly. So, coming up next is the Marlwolf, and, you know, I mentioned that I wasted a bunch of time on what's supposed to be a speedrun. I actually took the time to destroy the Marlwolf's treads, even though you don't really need to. You can jump on top of his back and get at the hatch just fine without destroying the treads. And these things are a bullet sponge. Enemies on hard mode are huge bullet sponges. I actually took a death in Sub-City 2, the one in downtown, because all the enemies there were such bullet sponges and they cornered me. It was just not good. And without the money from the bank robbery mission, I had no way to upgrade the grand grenades, because upgrading its attack power costs 100,000 zenny. Hard modes actually haven't been done all that well in Mega Man Legends. Like, I think they handled the regular hard mode in Legends 2 just fine, but Legends 2 also added a very hard mode, and that is terrible stuff. I don't think very hard mode was good at all. Anyways, talking about the Marlwolf fight for a little bit, you saw that the green balls can be dodged with a tumble dodge fairly easily, and once you get up here, depending on the Marlwolf's position, he might not be able to even hit you with a green ball because his angle might be off. Like, if he were to, I think he tosses one right here, like, he did not start that attack at a good angle, so I didn't even have to tumble dodge. So we wait for him to get up here, and then you jump on his back. Luckily, this time we're dropping splash mines, so it doesn't look nearly as ridiculous as shoving the drill inside, and that somehow causes damage. Ammo is a huge problem on hard mode, because you can see that half of my mines are already gone from destroying the treads. Oh, and note this part here. You can see that a little extra damage was caused by the servbot and the bomb, because I kicked him back inside, and the bomb exploded. This can never kill him. I think I showed that on the normal mode playthrough as well, but it's good to have that in again. And during this little period where they're just talking, you can destroy one of the other tanks and get a little bit more Zenny. Yeah, a good 700, which is important because you want lots of Zenny for lots of weapon upgrades later. Oh, and in this cutscene, Gramps is actually standing on top of the fallen cabinet. I never knew that before this playthrough, actually. It's pretty funny. I have no idea why he's standing there. Right, so we're up to the water battle, and this is actually one of the very difficult parts of hard mode if it's your first time doing this. It's not difficult to do if you have done this a couple of times before. Like, I had to replay this part to get a recording of the boss, and I actually wound up not taking very much damage. But watch those red robots, because look at how far away they can fire their torpedoes from now. They fire them so very often too. Like, there's another pair coming at me right now. Talk about a sneak attack. And the damage that they do, like, if you are not paying attention. Oh, and they fired another pair from that distance? That's amazing. Well, it's actually far enough that the torpedo just explodes automatically. So anyways, if these guys catch you in like 2 or 3 hits, then you are going to take a lot of damage. On hard mode, this is just insane, and there's nothing you can really do about the damage output either, because, you know, this is Roll's life bar, not yours, so you can't really fit yourself with any armor. Like, see, that was a huge chunk of health just now. And I am not sure if the mines explode on impact with the torpedoes, but, you know, if they do, that's nice. Like I said in the normal mode playthrough, the splash mines are surprisingly effective because you can drop them directly on an enemy that's close to you, or if you know the path they're going to take, you can place it in the path. And the only buster parts I have right now are the laser and the range booster, either Alpha or Omega, I'm not sure. Now, about the flying enemies, because this is actually very peculiar, they stay alive until the very end of the mission unless you kill them. So, if you don't destroy any of the flying ships, then there's going to be, like, just a whole pack of them shooting at you. In order to stop them from shooting at the boat, you have to hit them in order to stagger them. And that becomes important for the air battle later on. And this is where I think I took just a ton of damage. Like, I missed the torpedoes because I was trying to destroy the thing with the mines. And, yeah, that was not a good showing at all. And he even got in a sneak attack at the last second there before I sunk him. Like, a bunch of the robots on hard actually are very close to you. And again, the yellow ones that fire the missiles, they're not that big of a threat because the missiles tend to curve around you, desperately trying to track you, but they fail. So here's where I laid down a row of mines, and, you know, they wound up not hitting any of the torpedoes. I guess if someone can confirm if the mines stop the torpedoes, that would be very helpful for anybody doing this later. And I really should be more paranoid about the robots when they fiddle with their hands, because it makes me think they're going to fire something. I don't know why that guy was sitting there until he just decided to dive again. So yeah, there's still a flying ship shooting at me. During any downtime, you should try and shoot down the flying ships, because they can shoot you. Their aim is terrible, but they can still do it. And, you know, you better hope that the auto-aim is cooperative with you as well. Like, the auto-aim kept locking onto the sub there, but I was trying to shoot at the torpedoes. And here I successfully used the mines to destroy one of them. I'm not sure if he would have fired any additional torpedoes. Like, I think the general strategy is to focus on the projectiles and not the actual robots. But if you can destroy a robot before it even fires, that's helpful. And destroying the red ones ensures that they can't be sneaky. So you can see that I'm almost dead, but we're almost at the end of the water battle. On any other playthrough of this, I think I would have like half my health still. Let's see. And if you go into the boss with at least half health, I think you're pretty much safe to not retreat. You're gonna see what happens when we actually retreat, because I'm not taking on the boss with that amount of health. Sorry guys, I have to wuss out this one time. So is it the end yet? We're very near the area where the boss battle takes place. Okay, good. When Rule starts talking here, that's the end of the mission. So the water battle is kind of an auto-scroller, which is why this takes up a couple of minutes. And I suppose I should also use this time to mention that even though the Blumebears at the very start of the game have life bars, I did not decide to show them. Oh, that was very close. As you can see, the missile almost killed me. You can still die in this little segment right here if your health bar hits 0. It's almost unfair that you're able to lose because one of these missiles decided to catch you. And at least one of the missiles is on a collision course with your ship. Even though they normally just curve around the ship helplessly.
Sometimes it's better to run away and fight another day. I'll take us back to the boathouse.
Right, so you go back to the boathouse if you retreat there. And if you decide to go back out onto the lake, you pick right back up here with your health refilled, so that's very good. You can even switch weapons if you want, but that would necessitate going all the way back to the support car. So anyway, as I was saying, I did not show the Blumebears at the start of the game in this video because, you know, I dealt with it the same way I did in normal mode, which was to just destroy the blue one outright, because they still pass the key to the blue one. Anyhow, we kind of have to wait for the ship to get in position for the boss. Even the boss battle is kind of like autopilot because you're still just circling around the thing, shooting at its weapons. There is a sort of time limit to this because the missiles are completely helpless, they can never hit you, and the bombs can be stopped, but the arms that fire their little machine gun, you know, those are unavoidable. If they shoot you with that, you can, you know, that's health being lost that you can't recover. And I'm not sure if these missiles are supposed to be a threat.
If you don't watch it, you're gonna end up with a big hole in your backside.
Yeah. It's kind of weird how your own ship has these little explosion particles during that segment, but it doesn't do any damage, so I'm not really sure what's up with that. So you kind of need a range boosting buster part here, or else it's very hard to hit any of the weapons.
Why don't they just give up? Aim for their arms and weapons.
Yeah, there's dialogue for this part, so I'll, Did I mention that there was a bug in the dialogue just there? Because they forgot to apply the radio effect to Roll's dialogue there. This isn't present in the Japanese version of that line, so it's a mistake in the English version. Hooray! So yeah, I've got the laser and the range booster Omega now. You can deal with all of the weapons here in a very timely manner, with these buster parts at least. The arms are the hardest part because their hitbox keeps moving around like that. So it might take a couple of cycles in order to destroy them. I don't even think I get it on this cycle here. Due to the increased health on just about every enemy and boss in the game, routing for hard mode is very difficult compared to routing for normal mode. Like the normal mode route for Mega Man Legends speedruns, it's very interesting. Like all of their grenades in the sub-cities are very specifically placed at certain locations, and I'm just filling dead air until this boss gets destroyed and we move on to the Lake Ruins boss. Still doesn't take that many hits to destroy it, although if you want to avoid any sort of damage, then you have to be very careful. Yeah, and Virtual Dub. I used Virtual Dub to record this, and it was having a bit of a problem with the audio, which is unfortunate because I re-recorded this in order to fix the audio problem anyways, but whatever. So there's not much to the Lake Subgate boss. Pretty much everything that you saw on normal mode applies here on hard mode. I've got a maxed Buster Gun and I have to jump to shoot at the head. I never could nail down that trick that they do, where you aim like at the corner of its hitbox and it still lands. But oh well. I believe that the shockwaves that this boss sends out... Oh, that was really weird, by the way. I did not think he was far enough away to do the dive attack. When he gets too close to the wall, he's supposed to jump back to the center, like that. And I believe that the shockwave that attack sends out is bigger on hard mode. It kind of feels like it is, but I've never done a side-by-side comparison. Anyways, this boss still doesn't take that long. It's actually one of the better ones, even though it's basically just the normal fight with a bigger health bar. So there's just a couple more hits. It seems like he should be dead, but apparently he's not. That's always been a weird thing in, like, fighting games and stuff, when you've got, like, 1 pixel of health still remaining and you still manage to eke out a win. It's fairly epic, but weird. Alright, so next up are the 3 dogs in the, Closer Ruins.
Have you ever wondered where the Reaver bots...
Nope, still don't wonder.
I mean, who made them, and why? You know, we go around doing digs all over the place, but...
You know, Legends 2 doesn't even really answer where these Reaver bots are supposed to be coming from. But oh well. I'm gonna try the same trick that I did in normal mode, which is to run straight at that wall near the door, and then just look up and fire the grenades at point-blank range to get them all caught in the explosion. But it went a little strange compared to normal mode. Like, I was right up against the wall, but the grenades weren't coming out for some reason. So I wound up taking a bunch of damage that I shouldn't have, and I eventually resorted to the normal strategy with this fight, which is to circle strafe them. You kind of have to be a little bit careful because they can end up surrounding you, and even circle strafing is a bit difficult if that happens. You especially gotta watch out for the flame attack, and if they get really close, the bite attack can get you by surprise. But one of them is about to go down, with a grenade no less, and another one follows shortly after. You know what's really annoying about this, though? I used the energy canteen and then wound up never taking another hit anyways. I was playing it safe because one more hit would have finished me off, but, like, you know, that's still really annoying. And I missed the grenade there. That was pretty embarrassing. Well, that's all of them dealt with. Now we can move on to who is next. I believe it's Bruno. Yeah, Bruno's up next, and... No, it's the Gesellschaft. My apologies. Alright. So, these are the Drox, or Drakes, or whatever. And I'm going to finally equip a third Buster part. So again, their hitboxes don't activate until they get in formation and start flying. And you really want to make sure you apply pressure to them too, because they will not shoot if they're hit, because they will get staggered. And like, if you want to prevent the flutter from taking much damage, you really got to stagger these guys so that they don't shoot. On hard mode, they go down in about 9 shots from a fully maxed Buster Gun. So this is not the most difficult thing in the world. You just, I did use the stutter shot quite a bit though, so... yeah, you'll want to stutter shoot them like that. The Gesellschaft is the harder part, really, because it's difficult to judge when their hitboxes are going to activate. And it's also difficult to judge how much range you need in order to hit them. Like, I probably should have gotten the sniper scope, but I'm pretty sure you have to develop that, and that takes a while in what's supposed to be a speedrun. So pay special attention to the bombs here, because they do a lot of damage. You really want to make sure that they don't hit you. Of course, when I get up to the wing here, I actually ignore the bombs completely and just shoot at the wing in order to damage it enough. In fact, I lob a grenade at it, so you're gonna see how much damage the grenade does. See, a couple of hits and a grenade. And Mega Man himself can also get hit in this battle. It's not just roll this time, so you have to pay attention to both life bars. And after the wing gets destroyed, you should have enough time to take out the underside here. At least I think you do. Yeah, definitely. Especially with the shots that I put out in the opening. So if you stutter shot here and throw a couple grenades, then the other wing is going to go down pretty quickly too. Before the ship has had much chance to fire its bombs, in fact.
What kind of firepower are they packing on that little
And
ship?
as soon as all 3 weak points are destroyed, the ship automatically moves to start shooting the green energy balls at you from the skull.
What?
And a couple grenades should take this out, but I think I missed one of my grenade throws because I have not upgraded the grand grenade's range at all, so throwing from there, that was a mistake. I should have repositioned myself if I wanted to throw another grenade. Which I just did anyways. Without range upgrades, you've really got to get close to your target in order to hit it with a grand grenade. So next up is the Focke-Wulf, which I have actually learned is named after a German aircraft, I think. Which makes a lot of sense because all of the Bond robots follow a German theme. You've got Theodore Bruno, the Feldinaut, the Focke-Wulf. They've added something to this boss on hard mode. As you can see, the missiles now come out in packs of 3 instead of packs of 2. But other than that, this boss hasn't really changed that much. You've just got to destroy her before she destroys you. And that's not too difficult if you still have a grenade left, because if she goes into the attack where she just sits on top of the flutter and fires at it point blank, or if you throw a grenade at her with precise timing when she's flying over you, then that's fine. And her health bar is actually still really low.
Hurry, Mega Man! We can't take much more of this.
Yeah, some lines that you normally don't hear, and yeah, that missile actually caught me by surprise, and I was one hit from dying again because I still refuse to buy any life upgrades or energy canteen upgrades. Or any armor for that matter. So next up is Bruno, and look at the size of this health bar. Can you believe this? And I very embarrassingly got hit at the start there. So after taking that initial hit, I officially decided, okay, I'm not gonna play around with any speedrun strategies. I'm just gonna like do this in the most safe way as possible. Which probably might disappoint a few people, but whatever. With a health bar that size, and a life bar as tiny as mine, I can't afford to take any risks. Like, especially because I had gone through quite a bit without saving. I was still doing safety saves. So the path that you're going to see me take here is basically the safest way to play this boss fight. Just run behind that building when you're about to get hit with a green energy ball attack, and fail to throw the grenade at the spine. Just hide behind the buildings when it's about to shoot, and always make sure you're behind it. These buildings aren't completely impervious to damage because, like I said, the green energy balls can destroy them, but none of the other attacks can. So as long as you have it in this pattern where he walks back and forth between the black gate here and the... did I just call it that? Whatever. As long as you repeat these same movements over and over, you're probably going to destroy him in time before he has a chance to get in a free hit at you. Did I just see him take damage from his own explosion? It was probably my eye playing tricks on me, I don't know. Alright then. These buildings can be destroyed if I think one of them is about to. No, not yet. Okay. Any building that gets destroyed in this fight stays destroyed permanently, and I don't think you have the ability to pay for its repair. The fences don't get fixed either, actually. So, if you want this entire region of the town to be destroyed, you know, you better run around while dodging these attacks while that happens. Man, this takes forever. Yeah, see, this is one of the reasons why I don't really think hard mode was such a good idea for this game. At the very least, if hard mode didn't have a boss with such a long health bar, and it wasn't like one of the most dangerous bosses in this game, it would have been, I guess, better. I guess Mega Man Legends is one of those games that doesn't really need a hard mode unless a ton of extra attacks are added or there's something extra for it. Like, I don't know. I've actually been playing, like, the Kingdom Hearts... Well, I've been watching Kingdom Hearts videos, And what strikes me is that critical mode, it doesn't really add any new attacks, it just makes the bosses a lot more dangerous. Like, there's more risks to it, because if you get hit, you're taking a bunch of damage, but it just makes the bosses longer because the health bars are bigger? I don't know. Yeah, I'm just filling dead air. I apologize for all of that. This boss is that long, but at least I finished him off with a Grand Grenade. That's good. So there is technically a boss in the Uptown sub-city, but I don't really count it as a boss. Instead, let's just move to the final boss, Mega Man Juno. And as you can see, I'm black now because I robbed the bank for the 200,000 zenny you can get in that side quest. And I've got some better buster parts. I'm showing off everything I have. Upgraded Grand Grenades, better buster parts. And I really needed it too because this is an endurance match, if nothing else. You can see that my life bar is also maxed out, but that was probably a mistake for reasons you'll see in the second form. So what can be said about Mega Man Juno that hasn't been said already? Well, I am still fairly certain that the shockwaves are bigger on hard mode. And you actually get to see his attacks coming out more often. That one's not hard to sidestep. That one's not hard to sidestep either. And the jump attack, you just have to make sure to jump away from him. Because the shockwave is bigger, I'm pretty sure, you kind of have to turn yourself inwards towards him. Because if you just jump far away, then the shockwave is probably going to catch you on the way down. And for this laser attack, all you have to do is look at what hand is pointed directly at you, jump up, and then inch to the side towards the hand that's pointing towards you. Like if it's his left hand, you inch towards the left. And that helps you dodge it better, because if you dodge to the wrong side, then you're going to get hit by the laser. Like, watch here. His left hand was pointing at me, so I jumped up and to the left a little bit. A very easy way to dodge it, otherwise you have to time your jump very precisely. For this one, he was pointing at me with his right hand, so I jumped to the right. You don't have a lot of time to figure out which hand is pointing at you, but I've gotten used to this fight pretty much. So, I'm not really using my Grand Grenades yet. Speedrunners have, like, a trick that they do, where, well, it's not really a trick, but when he does the laser attack, not this one, but the other laser attack, you can get under him and then just start tossing your grenades, and that's worth a lot of damage. I toss my grenades during the desperation move, which is this. You can get one before the hands come down and one afterwards, because he's sitting there for quite a while, but he's quick to initiate another attack, so I would advise, like, being ready to move like that the instant that you toss the grenade. And if you're too late with a grenade, you'll not only miss, but you'll probably take a hit too. So as long as he spams the desperation move, I'm okay. I'd prefer to save grenades for the second form, but I have a hyper cartridge which restores all of my weapon energy, so I'm okay. By the way, this is with a maxed buster gun, and this fight has been going on for quite a while already. Least of which reasons being that I missed a grenade there. But it should be over after this move. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so Form 2. Form 2 is crazy! Form 2 is nuts! I'm pretty sure he's faster on this, but the desperation move is probably the highlight, so watch out for that when he starts spamming it. Alright, so I got rather liberal with my grenades here. Like, there are safe spots to use your grenades. That attack is not one of them. You want to be ready to jump it. And the ramming attack is still pretty deadly. Like, I should mention that I still don't have any armor, so I don't have any damage reduction. And it turns out that the ramming attack destroys your entire health bar in one hit. Oh, this attack is pretty safe to use a grenade on, but you have to be careful because if the big energy ball hits the ground, I think, it sends out a shockwave. And you've got to watch out for that too. When he jumps, he'll always do 2 jumps and then jump to the center, so you can catch him with a grenade there too. Of course, this would all be so much easier if I used the shining laser, but this was supposed to be a speed run. Yeah, I'm out of energy, so I used the hyper cartridge there. And you can see that I accidentally picked up a couple of other items because I hadn't memorized where everything was. Yeah, I'm actually supposed to be hitting him in the head with the grenades because that's the weak point. But it's very difficult to align yourself and aim at his head so very quickly in such a short amount of time before he initiates the next move. Now that was close. I was about to get hit with a ramming attack, but I decided to tumble dodge just in time. Yeah. I don't really use the tumble dodge enough, but here's the desperation move. Not one, but 2 shockwaves and more lasers. That's always your solution to making everything harder, more lasers. The 2 shockwaves make the desperation move really difficult to get through without damage, because you have to be very careful about your jump timing. Because if you land, you probably won't have enough time to jump before the second shockwave hits you, if your timing is very bad. And the best part is, like, he can actually spam the desperation move as much as he wants past half health. Like, I've had fights with this guy where he only did it 1 time the entire battle, but in this battle he did it like 4, 5, or 6 times. His position doesn't really matter for when he's allowed to initiate it. He does it in the center here, which is actually pretty good because, you know, you want to be moving diagonally. The fact that diagonal movement is faster actually comes in handy here, because I don't think there's a lot of space between the lasers. So, you know, if you're not careful, they could come down and hit you if you aren't moving diagonally or something. I don't think that's intentional. I think if you were just moving orthogonally, you could dodge the lasers that way. But it's still, like, crazy. Oh, and the lasers explode when they hit the ground. I don't think the camera is doing a good job at showing that. You can kind of see it in the corner if you pay very careful attention. And the worst part of all of this is, I think taking the maximum health upgrades was actually a bad thing, because, like, ramming into him, as you just saw, takes out your entire health bar. I have 10 units in the energy canteen and 10 units in my life bar, so if he had actually taken me down to 0 health and I had only, like, half the amount of life maximum health that I do, then it would have only cost 5 units of the energy canteen to max out my health. Because, again, this game can never kill you in 1 hit. It always has to leave you with a red health bar before you take the final hit that gives you a game over. So that's Mega Man Juno. That's Mega Man Legends hard mode boss battles completed. I hope everyone enjoyed that. I know it was a little long-winded, but, you know, I did my best to save as much time as possible. So, with that, we will move on to Legends 2. Merry Christmas, everybody.